Hi, welcome to Margarita Says. I read a book by Christopher Hitchens, Missionary Position, about Mother Teresa, and I loved Mother Teresa since I was a little girl because my grandma was very religious. She went to church every Sunday, and in Ukraine, Mother Teresa appeared on TV very regularly. Every time there is a disaster in the world, she would be there helping people, telling them to forgive one another, love one another, and that's a very beautiful message. In Ukraine, Mother Teresa appeared lots of time on TV and with a lot of famous people, Margaret Thatcher, Ronald Reagan, Princess Diana. There would be always something going on in the world, and Mother Teresa would be there saying that we should forgive and love one another. And it's a great message, and my grandmother tried to always forgive even very mean people that were very mean to my grandmother. However, if you look more deeply into Mother Teresa's funds, and all the money that she have received from rich and famous for the poor, very little money went actually to the poor, and most of the money went to the church and the enrichment of the Vatican, gold and the gold churches. And just one of her accounts was about $50 million tax-free money. No money went into the House of the Dying in India, Kolkata, where there are a lot of terminally ill patients that are ill with cancer, AIDS, unwanted children, people that are in pain, people that need medical care, pain medication. They don't receive pain medication, only aspirin. That's it. So because Mother Teresa believed that through suffering you get closer to God, and there's a sign on the House of the Dying where it says, "I'm on my way to heaven." So they would suffer and they knew that they were on their way to heaven. Also, she would baptize a lot of terminally ill into Christians. A lot of them were Muslims, and before they would die, they would baptize them, which is wrong because a lot of dying people, they didn't know that they were being baptized. They didn't express their desire to become Christian. They were just dying, and she would baptize them. And because she believed that in order to get to heaven, you have to be Christian. House of the Dying is a place with many beds and naked, sick people lying side by side in pain. And in fact, I looked at Christopher Hitchens' book about dying people and about House of the Dying, and I went online actually yesterday and I looked it up. And not much has changed. It's the same thing, just room with lots of beds. It's not, superly like comfortable. It's just like beds on the floor and just the people lying next to one another, suffering. It doesn't look comforting in any level. So they're not allowed to get pain medication because Mother Teresa and her organization believe that suffering brings you closer to God, and that's a beautiful thing. However, when Mother Teresa was sick herself, she got the best care in the Western hospital and did not go to House of the Dying to die and to suffer in pain. Sick were people who end up in Mother Teresa's care, getting baptized, as I said, without their consent. People are dying, and then they're in pain. While they're in pain, sisters baptize Muslims and other non-Christian poor into Christians. One of the boys, when she was their volunteer, he was 15 years old, and he had a pretty simple kidney infection, and the doctors could have treated him. He was very poor, and the doctors suggested that they should bring him to the hospital, and the sisters declined, and sisters decided not to do that and just to let the boy suffer and eventually die because infection got worse and worse and worse, because they said, well, if we do that for him, then we have to do that for everybody. But Mother Teresa's annual income was in millions and millions and millions of dollars every year. And of course, I'm not saying that that money could save the world, but I think at least it could help the people in the House of the Dying to get better medical care, get pain medication, get better comfort, comfortable beds, maybe air conditioner, maybe allow their friends to visit them because they don't allow their friends to visit them. They don't allow them, some people that are dying might want to smoke a cigarette, they don't allow them to do that. why Mother Teresa could not use all the millions and millions of dollars that she got tax-free to open up hospitals, or at least to better the conditions of all the places for the poor she opened up. Maybe get some pain medication for people that are in pain, allow friends to visit them. Also, Mother Teresa received a lot of money from crooks, and every time somebody would bring it up, she would say, well, I'm not of this world, I'm not involved in politics. But I think there is something, like accepting money from Duvalier family. There's a Papa Duvalier, there's a baby Duvalier, and we know that he was a tyrant. We know that baby Duvalier made all his money on drugs and sold body parts of Haitian people for money, of dead Haitian people. We know that he robbed Haiti, and while everyone is poor and has no education, he lived like a king. And she accepted money from him. Maybe she didn't know, but I think if somebody told her, I think by accepting money, it's almost like accepting money from Hitler. Yeah, like saying well, I don't really care that he kills a lot of people. He's nice to me, so I'm just going to accept the money. It's not taking a stand at all. Also, she accepted money from Charles Keating, which is he's like a Bernie Madoff, like a Ponzi scheme where people would give him money and he would supposedly invest it and make money, but he just used the money to pay other people, and basically he lost all the money. And lots of people, his clients, some people were wealthy, some people were not that wealthy, and some people were lower middle class, and I think one person was very poor, and he was convicted, and she accepted money from him, and she posed, and he would use these photographs to show how good he is. Look, I'm with Mother Teresa. So the Duvaliers, they would show this picture to Haitian people. Look, we're with Mother Teresa, and she will promote it, in other words, for money, she promotes their image. Again, you could argue that she didn't know, but she did. And you could argue, well, she wasn't involved in politics, but she kind of did, because she was talking to Margaret Thatcher about abortion, that there should be no contraceptives, no abortion. So she did participate in the politics when there was a big oil spill in Bhopal, India. She and lots of people died. Lots of poor people died from poisoning and from the oil spill. She went there and she said, forgive, forgive, forgive. Why didn't she say, well, this company that messed up so bad should pay up money, should help these people that lost their loved ones, should do something about that this never happens again, should face the consequences. Basically, poor people should just accept their lot in this world and just suffer through the whole life. Now, I don't think she was a fraud in the sense that she maliciously did this. I think she really believed that there is a heaven and that poor people are going to go to heaven and that it's okay for them to suffer, and through suffering they're getting closer to God. And she believed in her cause. She believed that all the money that she got, she was giving it to church, right? She didn't keep it. She didn't live a luxurious lifestyle. So she gave it all to the church. So I think she believed in her cause, but I think it's almost like a fanatical belief without any questioning the authority or questioning what's going on. Is this right? Is this right that the 15-year-old boy who has a simple kidney infection is dying here, where he could be saved by taking him to the hospital and buying him some antibiotics? Why is it never questioned? Why poor are dismissed? They are dismissed. Why, when there's an oil spill, she says, just forgive, just forgive. You know, it's okay. It's okay that all your relatives died, you know, and you're poor all your life, and you know, you don't have any joy in your life. Just forgive. Um, so again, back to Charles Kidding. So he was convicted, and the judge wrote her a letter, and he said, "We know that he gave money to your charity. A lot of people lost their money. Can you please return some of the money so we could give it back? You know, I know that you believe in Jesus Christ. I know that you want justice to be served." Judge wrote her a letter. He never heard from her, and then she wrote to the judge a letter asking the judge to forgive Charles Kidding for everything he's done. So, yeah, I don't think Mother Teresa did much good in the world. I think she just really, really believed in the church and the Christian religion, but it's not about the poor. That's all. And you know, you could say to me, well, what have you done for the poor? I mean, I'm not claiming to be Mother Teresa. I'm not claiming I'm volunteering my whole life for the poor. I'm dedicating. I mean, I volunteered in the hospitals. I did a lot of volunteer work, but I'm not claiming to save the poor. But I'll tell you this: if I was that figure, and if all the rich people were, you know, and if I said I want to help the poor, and all the rich people were giving me their money, I would make sure that the money went to the poor and not to the church. So I was very disappointed, and once again, we were blinded by reputation, not by somebody's deeds or who they were. We were just said, wow, this person is a saint, and no matter what she does is great. We're blinded by reputation. We forget that we're human, and everybody's human. There are no saints, and we should question authority. We should question things that we do and try to make things better. Thanks for watching.